We'll edit it somehow.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Is there intro music? We're
working on it.
You want me to beatbox?
Are you a beatboxer?
No, but I could. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve you guys. If you need intro music, we'll do something.
Nice.
We've been messing with this for 3 or 4 days, trying to make sure it's going to work.
Is it messing up?
No.
It's going good? Sweet.
I told him, I said, I can guarantee you I've got 2 mics that can work. 1,000,000,000%. And so I've been streaming video games doing this stuff. So I've been on Twitch using this program and stuff.
Twitch, please. That's what they say at my radio station.
And so I've been trying to get all this stuff hooked up and make it work. So I'm glad I got it working.
We'll start now. Alex has been grinding in preparation for season 2. We're ready to go. You can see him on 2K, making people mad all the time. This is the 2K king right here.
I'm pretty good at 2K.
I'm confused. Have we begun?
Yes, we're here.
Oh!
We're here.
We're nice.
Absolutely.
That was the most subtle introduction I've ever seen in my life.
Dylan's very subtle. Dylan's very subtle.
No, but for season 2, we did have the most special guest we could find. Jeremy Lee. He's my boss over in Murfreesboro at Boro Business Lab. He's got a lot of titles. You'd say, while your kids are in school, you're a high school football fanatical fan, right?
For real.
Nice.
I watch there's all kinds of little podcasts and things, and I watch all of it because I want to see if my kid's school gets mentioned, and then I want to see the teams they're going to play. You know, do they suck? Are they good? I want to anticipate the amount of pain or joy I'm going to feel on a Friday night. I want to know before I get there. I'm that kind of guy.
And y'all's football is way different than ours.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, me and Dylan went to that one game, and I was
yeah.
That's the band was getting all hyped up. There was 1 million people there, and it was awesome.
Man, I'll never forget that. I thank y'all so much. Like, these two showed up at my son's football game really just randomly, and it just meant the world to me. I appreciate y'all being there. It was cool. I wanted my son to see y'all and meet y'all, and it meant a lot that got to happen.
Absolutely.
We were happy to meet him. I saw one of your sons. Which one was it at BNI?
My older one, Campbell. Yeah.
Nice. And he's going to big school there.
Go Vols.
Go Vols. Nice.
Go Vols. He's going to UT Knoxville. Yeah, it's all happening right now. I have to look at my phone. I think graduation's like 14 days away or something like that. Crazy.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Hey.
Yeah. And so we're in the middle of it. We're in the thick of it, man. We went to award ceremony last night and prom and all the things. And prom's a whole new level. Did you guys like rent cars for prom and have photo shoots and do all the things?
When I was a freshman, we had a party van, and it was a short bus painted all black with a stripper pole in the middle of it.
That's amazing.
That was Alex's spot.
That was my intro to prom, and then after that, I just drove one of my cars. After
That's
that,
hilarious.
Never did the party bus after that.
Oh man, it's
again.
a whole thing. It's
awesome.
Completely different than. I mean, obviously, we didn't even have phones when I went to prom.
How was your prom? How was it different?
Well, we had pagers,
so you got pagers?
not phones. There wasn't the internet yet, so.
Crazy.
Your promposal was just you look at your pager, it says prom question.
Promposal didn't exist.
Nice.
Man, we were talking. My wife and I were actually talking about it. We went to go do the photo shoot, and then afterwards we went to go eat together, and we were talking about our proms, and I was like, man, I really barely remember mine. Like, it wasn't at all so well documented as this was. I mean, I remember it somewhat. I remember the prom theme song was "Boys to Men." We've come to the end of the road, and I can't let go.
That's a great song, by the way.
You still remember it? Is it on the classics station now?
That's a great song. I know that song. That's an awesome song.
But no, yeah, it wasn't what it is today. But I kind of dig it. I kind of dig the creativity. My son and his date were making a TikTok. Evidently, there was this trend where you twirl the date and there's a transition. Yeah.
You're in casual clothes.
You're down?
Yeah. I'm up on the trends, yeah.
So yeah, they were doing that. We were sitting here with the photographer because we hired a photographer. We're trying to be, hip and cool parents.
Absolutely.
And we're all just sitting there watching them film their TikTok, and eventually we were like, "Hey guys, I think we're done because y'all are filming a TikTok." They were like, "Oh yeah, y'all can go." I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, they should have at least given a signal or something. It's like, hey, you're good to go.
They were deep in their creative space. We were just letting them have their space.
Can't mess with the creative process. That's a problem.
That is awesome.
So you're with Boro Business Lab. You're one of the partners, one of the three. Y'all, from my perspective, it's interesting how y'all can.
You have quite a perspective, don't you?
Well, it's I'm close to it, I guess, but it's a three-headed monster a little bit. Y'all take care of your the things that y'all are good at, and when it's time to let somebody else handle their area of expertise, y'all are more than happy to let them go. Y'all balance your family life and your work life. Interestingly, what do you think about that work-life balance? Do you think that's a thing, or?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it means a lot to hear you say that since you're close into our world. Thank you for that. Work-life balance. It's become to me trendy to say, "Oh, that's not a thing." I don't know. I guess I don't think of it in terms of that. I was really influenced. I had a period of my life where I was in a whole nother field. And then when I transitioned, my earliest influence was reading a book that probably shouldn't have been my first book to read when I was thinking about business, but it was 4 Hour Work Week, which the whole concept of that book is work as little as possible and make enough. And if you make enough money to cover your expenses, you're infinitely rich. And so the reason why that spoke to me, though, is because my ambition this whole time has been freedom more than money. I wanted to be rich in time first. Then I wanted to get the money I needed, and then I wanted to have security past that money. But rich in time was the first thing because I had little boys, and what I did previously kept me so busy. And I wanted to own my time. I wanted to wake up in the morning and do what the hell I want. Oh, can I say hell? What do we?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To do what I wanted to do.
Absolutely.
And of course, that's not laying around the pool every day, or my family's not gonna eat. But at the same time, I wanted to make my choices. So that's why I don't really think in terms of work-life balance. I think in terms of freedom. I don't miss anything. Literally, I'm like in the kindergarten St. Patrick's Day party. I was the only dad in the room most of the time. I didn't miss hardly anything, and never missed a game. I sometimes showed up at practices when my boys didn't want me to be there. Yeah. So especially reflective at the end of this phase of the journey for one of my boys. I can look back and say, you're never going to not mess up a kid. He's going to be in therapy at some point talking about his family of origin and what I did to screw him up, because as humans, that's going to happen. Yeah. So I'm not looking for perfection. So what am I looking for? I've been thinking about that lately, and but I think I can look back on it and say, I don't have any regrets. I don't look at any stage of parenting and say, man, I wasn't what I needed to be. And so for that fills me up. And so I think it is a big, huge factor was not work-life balance, but working to be free, because that freedom allowed me to be there. And so they can say I messed them up, because I'm sure I did, but they can't say I wasn't there.
And that's and I coach now, and so I see this all the time. Parents living through their kids, just 1,000,000%. They love their
Absolutely.
kids, but they're making their kids live the dream that they wanted to live, and you're the total opposite. But you're always involved in it. But you're the front row, and you're cheering for your kids, but you just want them to do their best. You're not living through them, but you're just enjoying the journey that they allow you to be on, that you're on with them. I mean, that's important.
Currently that's probably true. That came from taking my lumps, because there really was a season where, because my firstborn especially is, he's an achiever. He just achieves. I think it's because he's somewhat of a perfectionist.
Absolutely.
But man, like, he's winning award after award after award right now. I'm so proud of him. And but truthfully, there was a time where he's done that all along his journey. And there was a time where every time he won or did something great, I took that as a mark towards me being a good dad, because I helped him get there, or I taught him how to do that, or I can't suck that bad if he's that good. And so there was, Alex, a time where I think I did kind of maybe not live through them, but assess my value based off of their achievements.
Absolutely.
And I've got two really great boys who achieve a lot of good things, and so that became more and more unhealthy. So I had to make a transition there to let their journey be theirs, and let mine be mine, and find my value other places.
That's interesting because it's along the lines of freedom on the work-life balance topic. You're also gaining freedom from having to be involved with everything that's going on. Like, if he makes a bad play, would you be, like, on the way home, are you like, what are you doing with that play? Is it something like that where you're overcritical? Or
no, it really wasn't. I was pretty conscious of that. It was more so at that time. It was more so my internal conversation. It really was externally what I was saying to my boys. I've been pretty. I was a youth minister for 20 years, so I got a great front row seat to functional and dysfunctional families, and became really passionate about the concept of parenting, and maybe overly so. Again, I think I might have sold into it too much, because I think you can be into it too much, where it does put a pressure on the kid, where they're almost like your trophy for how good you are as a parent.
Yeah.
But the transition, again, I'm pretty open that I go to therapy, and I'm proud that I do, because it provides so much for me. And I think generally I say it in front of men as much as I can, because most of them think that's stupid, and it's not. But through therapy, I learned that was a place where I needed to just kind of switch my internal conversation, which is, wow, Campbell. Like last night, Campbell won a top scholar award at his school. It's one of the top awards. I'm so proud of him. Wow, way to go, Campbell. Here's what that means: is someone else saw in you what I already knew about you, which is when the assignment had to be done and it's midnight and you just played a football game and you have a concussion, and but it's got to be done.
Yeah.
You stayed up and did it. And nobody would have blamed you, even me. I wouldn't have blamed you if you went to bed and turned it in late and got a B instead of an A. But you made a choice. You made a choice to the man you wanted to be.
Absolutely.
And of course I'm proud of that. And of course I'm not dumb. I know I had a role in that.
Yeah.
But I'm also, God, the biggest, cockiest jerk in the world to think that was all me.
Yeah.
It sure wasn't.
Absolutely.
It's mostly Campbell. It's a whole lot of God. And there's tons of men and women who have invested in Campbell alongside of me. Number one, Uno being my wife.
Yeah.
Yes, my voice is loud in his heart. Probably one of the loudest humans in his heart. But I'm in a choir. And the problem was when I thought mine and maybe my wives were the only two, and started to feel like that made me important.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I mean, in the same way, the relationship with you and Campbell and your kids sounds just like the one I have with my dad, and how, like, what you said is exactly right. You gave him the tools, whether he used them or not, that's totally up to him. You painted the picture, now you got to go paint your own. Now, whether it's the same picture, we don't want it to be the same picture. And that's what me and my dad talk about all the time is, he tells me, it's like, I don't want you to be me. I want you to be better than me. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. He said that's the goal of being a parent. Is the goal is for you to raise your kids for them to be better. Like my parents, their home life wasn't phenomenal. They came from poorer families. Well, now they live in a 2-story brick house off Longview. What do they want for me? They want it to be bigger. They want my house to be bigger than theirs. Like that's their goal. They want me to be better than to have more and to do more than what they did. And they said that's always been their goal. It's never been to, we don't want you to be the same. Why would we do that? We want you to be better. And so that's exactly what my dad says all the time, is exactly what you said.
But in addition to that, it's also a recognition that there are some tools that I have given him for sure, but then there's some tools I don't have the ability to give him that specifically other men have stepped in and given him. I'll give a couple of examples. I've struggled with weight my whole life. Ever since I was little, I've been big and lose weight, gain weight, and Kemba has seen that. A lot of his childhood, I was terribly obese. Obviously, I continue to fight the fight. But he is. You look at him now; he's incredible. He's like a bodybuilder dude. He goes to the gym every day. He's into it. You think he got that from me? Maybe what he got was, I don't want that. I see that my dad struggled and he couldn't do some things physically that I want to be able to do. Maybe, but I think more so likely is his involvement in sports. I bet there were coaches, and I bet there were men who didn't have the struggle I did, who probably struggled in areas that I don't, but they didn't have the struggle I did in that area, that poured into him in that way. I'll give you one other. I'm just now learning how to deal with money as I get older. But early on, I didn't really know or how to do it. It really wasn't taught very well to me, truthfully. And so very specifically, there's an amazing man who I can't wait to see him, because his reference letter is what got my son his big scholarship. But he has mentored Campbell. He's big into the stock market. He's big into money. And he's literally just taught my son how to do money in a way that I don't know that I have the capability to do it, because where I am right now, I'm obviously very reflective about this journey, and I begin to be thankful for the village that had tools I couldn't give, and of course my wife, she had so much that I couldn't give. So yes, I want him to be better than me, and yes, I gave him everything I knew to give. But I always talk about the tool belt. We have a tool belt, figuratively, and our parents give us everything they can to put in it as best as they can. But what being an adult looks like is, at some point you look down at your tool belt and you survey what you have and don't have. And listen, some of us had amazing parents, and it's like we got Home Depot, and then some of us had really crappy parents, and we were lucky to get a screwdriver.
Yeah.
Really doesn't matter our starting point, but being an adult is being able to take a survey of that and say, okay, here's what I have and here's what I don't have. Like, I have a good work ethic, but I don't have any idea how to manage money, or I can't manage my emotions, and I can't control my anger, and I'm alienating everyone, whatever. And then once you survey that you don't have it, you have the maturity to say, I don't have it. I need to find a place I can go get it, and then go get it. That is adult. That's what an adult looks like.
Absolutely.
And that's been quite a journey for me, but that's what I wish for. I hope I filled my boy's tool belts with and I gave as much as I could give, but man, nobody fills it completely. So they got to go figure out what they need.
Nice. That is the great thing about life, and you may not be able to fill your tool belt yourself, but if you have the humility to go out and search for it, you can find tools all over the place. Well,
it's one of the reasons I like you two, because I really see both of y'all doing that at a really crucial stage of life. You're curious. When I talk about both of you to people, and I do talk about y'all a lot, the word I use is these boys are curious men. Sorry, these men are curious. They ask questions all the time, and they don't just ask, but they listen. And man, it's rare, and it's an indicator of future success. So kudos to y'all.
We appreciate you saying that.
Definitely, we appreciate that.
This is a hard switch, but
do it. Don't hit the clutch. Just go.
Nice. Say less. So you're in the marketing field all the time. That's your expertise. So social media, when you see couples who have joint Facebook accounts, how does that make you feel?
God,
you like
so
that?
funny.
Or
well, That's funny.
Not to mention both our parents have joint
Yeah, so
Facebooks.
thank you for the warning.
Yeah, so
Because probably they're the only ones who listen to your podcast that might want to.
Whoa.
Sorry, was that mean? Just kidding. No, there was a time where I believe me and my wife had a joint as well. You know, I don't think about it truthfully. I know people have strong opinions, but it goes back to that freedom, that core value. Like, I feel like people should have the freedom to do them. I enjoy having separate ones personally, but you know,
my mom has to keep hers like that so she can watch my dad on Facebook Marketplace. So that way he doesn't buy a bunch of stuff.
My wife's not on Facebook actually, because she's an artist and she is introverted and just in general just has a love-hate relationship with social media. She's on Instagram, but Facebook in particular just wasn't her jam. So now I'm the family representative on there. So if somebody needs to get to her, they usually message me.
Nice.
But I've had friends who sometimes joint accounts are for just because in their particular marriage, it helps build trust.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people with separate accounts don't behave like they should.
Well, that makes sense. The time that I judge it mostly is like if you're in college.
Dating couples?
Yeah.
I might have opinions about that.
Okay, nice.
That's wild.
Because I don't know about that.
Okay.
I haven't seen those. I might start looking.
Dude, you should. I'll send you a couple. It's
I mean, my opinion on that is too soon, maybe.
okay. Nice. Too soon.
Well, and I'll say this: I would only offer that opinion if I had a good enough relationship to say it.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Well, a whole lot of people will catch it probably, or hopefully, at
So,
least our parents. So
just
we'll
out of
see.
pure love, if you're not married, don't put a ring on it before you combine your accounts.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, another hard switch, Jeremy.
This is. Are you off of a list? You do have a list. He's reading his phone. Don't hide.
What do you mean?
Be yourself.
I'm proud.
He's reading his notes app.
Dude, yeah, we're prepared somewhat, but now it's not unlocking. Oh, now we're in a mess. No.
See, now you just gotta. Here's my question to you:
Okay.
Is when are you going to fall in love and combine social accounts with somebody? We need to, get that going.
It's actually not Facebook anymore. It's called Meta. So the question is not answerable.
We're busy. We're busy too much.
Sure.
We're too busy.
Oh, I got an idea.
Uh-oh.
Y'all have a joint account. That would be great.
That would.
I mean,
we
kinda
do.
did.
We kind of do.
It's called Everything Like That Podcast.
We're gonna plug it right now.
No. All right. So you're. We kind of already touched this. Where do you find fulfillment in your life? You find freedom. Is freedom fulfillment to you? Is it going to your kids' games or whatever their events are and watching them succeed?
Yeah.
Or what is that?
Great question. I mean, I'm a man of faith, and I've taught my family and live that my faith is to me, the greatest gift of faith is purpose. I don't have to wonder what my purpose is. It's to accept and share the love of God. And so, because of that, my purpose is kind of set, sealed, and delivered, and I don't have to worry about it changing. So I hear fulfillment as purpose. Now, let me take that down a level and say, okay, how do I live that out practically? And one of those things is freedom. But I think I'd probably say personally, yes, family is incredibly important to me. And of course, yes. But professionally and just me individually, having an idea and bringing that idea and executing it and bringing it into existence. So I've been able to start and sell 2 other companies, and this is my 3rd company, and those are all they all began on the back of a napkin. Nice. And took just 5 seconds of courage. And but that process, and then lots of projects before those companies, I just love having an idea and bringing it to life.
do you ever deal with people not believing in that idea?
Yes.
Like, how do you deal with that in a team environment? Like if you have an idea that is on the back of a napkin that hardly anybody believes in, you know it's going to pay off eventually. How do you deal with the naysayers?
So team environment. Give me a little bit more team environment. Like if they're my team, then they probably shouldn't be on my team anymore.
Well, that's very true. So like you work with. You have two partners, and you all assumably have equal say. So that's a pretty easy thing with pretty easy vote with three people.
Intentional,
Right.
yes. I think I understand now. So in my partner setting, if there was something I really wanted to do, I fought for freedom in that setting too. Because we were talking at lunch just a little bit ago that having partners is like being business married. There's obligations you have to one another, and you better protect the relationship or it's going to get bad fast. And we are aware of that. We go to lunch every day on purpose because of that. And it's all of the things. One of the things, though, I fought for in our partnership from the jump is that I'll sign on to do this with y'all, but this isn't all I'm doing, and I don't give you everything. If I have something I want to do in addition to, as long as I don't take away from what I'm offering to this, I have the freedom to do it. So I guess if I had something I really wanted to do and they didn't want to be a part of it, then I'd just do it myself.
Makes sense to me. I like that. Goes back to freedom.
It goes back to freedom. I can't give up freedom.
There you go. Nice.
Like I met you at BNI.
Right.
For the listeners who don't know what BNI is, it's a networking group. But what does BNI ask of you? Every week, Tuesday at 7:45 now a.m., I have to be there. In so doing, that's one of the hardest things in my life because I hate that I have to be there.
Yeah. I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like I hate being. That's such a big commitment.
Yeah, I agree.
BNI gives so much back to me. It's worth it.
What? So that's a non-negotiable. What? I got probably two more questions here. What are non-negotiables when you're trying to go into business with somebody? Like if this person is, like consistency, that would be something you want in a business partner for sure. What are some things that you just absolutely have to be in business with somebody, or you have to see from that person?
Yeah, that's a good question. Shared values is the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, consider all, and I didn't even consider until Boro Business Lab is the biggest venture I've ever been a part of, and there's almost daily ethical things we have to think about. And I don't have to question my partner's integrity. And regularly, it comes down to do the right thing even if it hurts.
Yeah.
And we all three agree on it. And we've lost a whole lot of money by doing the right thing even if it hurts. But of course it comes back. And so shared values is huge. I think, as we discussed, if somebody has the same exact gifting as me, then I wouldn't want to be partners with them, even if I liked them, because we're really just, I need them to have complementary gifts, or it really doesn't make sense.
Right.
I'm going to be facing all the downside and risk without really a lot of the reward if we can both do the same thing.
That makes sense. Nice.
And like when I learned this in school, which is crazy, but I had a professor that talked about like building relationships, and like that's in business, that's the most important thing, but also having business partners and having people that you trust to talk to about your business, people that you want to inquire and bring into your business, and also the clients that you have. I'm to the point now, and you guys are to the point now where you can say no to people.
Yeah.
And like that's the craziest thing to me, because when I first started, I was like, I don't say no to anybody. But now if you don't fit, not really my criteria, but if you just come at me with something that I'm just like, that's not going to work. That doesn't fit what I want my business to be a part of. And so it's a little bit, and just like you said, you lose money doing that kind of stuff, but it protects you and it always comes back. And so building relationships is the 10 out of 10 the most important thing that I've took from BNI, meeting all those people at BNI, was like, if you don't have personal relationships, like I could call you if I'm stuck on the side of the road and you'd pick up and tell me who to call. Mm-hmm. But if it's not that personal, then how are you going to trust me to send someone to come clean someone's house for you?
Yeah.
Or how am I going to trust you to send someone to you for marketing?
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that I tell people now is like the relationship. You have to build a relationship beyond just business. It has to be somewhat personal, because if it's not personal, it means nothing to nobody.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and another thing is obviously mutual respect. I'm a big believer that among men, friendships don't exist unless there's first mutual respect. And especially my partners and I, that's probably it's so incredibly important because we are so different. You know, like Dean will wear his blazer and he goes to the office every day. You're not going to not see him at the office, and it's just he loves being there. And you know, whether he has actual work to do or not, he's going to make it all work. He's going to figure something out to do and call it actual work. It's just who he is. Yeah. And Josh has a little bit of that, but he also loves. He can be home and whatever. And I'm freaking all over the place. I don't know where I'm going to work or what I want to do until I wake up, because of that freedom thing. That's important to me. So imagine being in partnership with that, and imagine how much Dean has to trust me when he doesn't see me in the office every day, that I'm actually doing something, and vice versa. And we have said from the beginning, you know, we don't have a problem with each other as long as we're all getting our work done. I don't care how you do it, just get it done. And every time we attack something, we divvy it out. We put initials by it. Everybody knows what their responsibility is, and you do your stuff. And I know they're going to do their stuff. Yeah. And there's a huge. It's kind of like going to the gym together. I heard. I don't know. That's what I hear. Is and the idea of, well, if I drop the ball, I've got to, you know, like yesterday. We're all going to Dean's B&I group and doing a big presentation. Well, I get held up at home, and family. I'm a family first guy. I chose family over being on time, and so I was late and actually messed up on the time in my head. I thought it was 7:30, and I thought it was 7:45, and it was 7:30. So I was even later than I was thinking I'd be just like 10 minutes late. I was actually like 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes late. My partners, they're texting me on the way, and I'm feeling that feeling of, dang, I'm really letting them down right now. And, you know, as soon as the meeting was over, it was Dean's group, so I went and I embarrassed him. So I went right over to him first and said, man, my bad. It was my bad. I should have been on time. I'm sorry. So I know internally why I made the decision. I'm not usually late to things, and I made a personal choice, but that doesn't mean I'm not responsible to Dean because of that choice.
Yeah. The goal is the same. The route's just different for everybody. Mm-hmm. You three have the same goal always. Yeah. But the routes are different.
Correct. Yeah.
And so, I mean, the road's going to lead to the same. You know, it's all going to meet at some point. They're all going to meet, but the goal is always the same.
Love it.
Heck yeah! And we did meet at BNI in Nolensville. That was a long time ago now. I really don't even remember how long.
Yeah.
But yeah, networking, it's a jungle, but you can find people like y'all there. You can find crazy people sometimes. It's all
straight up
in the air. But thankful to have found y'all for sure. So
no, my first networking experience, 10 out of 10 is the best one I've ever. I mean,
was BNI your first?
Yeah. And so I never went to a networking meeting. Then I went with him, and I met all you guys, and it was like the best intro to a networking group that you can find, because everybody was super nice, but they were also just like, oh, you're super young, blah blah blah, and like, yeah, I'm still super young. So But it was one of those, like, it wasn't, they didn't treat me like a kid. They treated me as an equal, and they treated me as a professional in my field and things like that. And so,
Well, it was y'all's credibility in the group to me. It was like, man, these guys are so freaking young and they're hanging in there with us. Like, dang, everybody. Yeah, I don't know if that made y'all feel like people were looking down. It was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
People were imagining themselves at your age going, I would never be able to walk into this room and
It's intimidating.
and stand like y'all are standing right now.
Dude, it's the business Illuminati. It's as close as you get, is it not?
It's intimidating. And like the weird thing is now I can go into networking meetings and I'm fine, but I can be around people that have been in business for 30, 40 years that have never been to a networking meeting, and I look cool as a cucumber and they're nervous as a billy goat, and I'm like,
And you can always peg them too. They're the ones sitting over in the corner waiting on the meeting to
Yeah.
start, or sitting in their car waiting on the meeting to start.
and they're like, oh, I've never done this, or I've never done networking like this before, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I started early, so now that it's comfortable. I mean, it's not hard to go in there and introduce yourself and give a 60-second pitch. I did one today at the chamber meeting. Didn't know I was going to do one, and she looks at me and goes, can you give a 60-second pitch? I was like, I've been giving one every week for the last 3 years, so I can definitely come up with something.
Yeah, to me, the pitch is not the problem. I used to do a lot of public speaking, so that wasn't a problem. It's the small talk. Oh, it's just tough for me, man. And I'll find myself getting awkward quick. Like, it's still. I've been doing it for years and years now, and I'm still. I need to go through what is that? How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mean, I read the book a long time ago, but I need to go through the course.
You can only
I think
talk
they
about,
teach you how to do that.
You can only talk about the weather 2 or 3 times, and then they're like, all right, something's up with this guy.
Well, what's y'all's go-to question in small talk for networking? How do y'all handle it?
I just approach and introduce myself, and then hopefully that they have a story about some restoration company that they used or some carpet cleaner that didn't do a very good job.
That's what you hope.
That's what I hope.
I go straight to family. To me, that tells me a lot about them.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, oh yeah, I got a wife, I'm like, well, I don't want to hang out with you.
I got an old lady.
But if they're like, I got kids, and they start lighting up, telling me all about them, I'm like, okay, I'm in because we have shared values.
Gotcha.
That's it. Yeah.
But
That's an adult question. We're we're probably the age of their kids, so it's just like, all right.
It's like, you got a daughter? Doesn't work.
maybe is she interested in a joint account?
There you go. Good stuff. No, you got any other questions?
So let's do some quick hitters. How about that?
Oh yeah.
Quick hitters.
Y'all are that organized. You have quick hitters.
I love quick hitters.
I guess.
They do them at his B&I group in Murfreesboro.
Dude,
Before
shout out.
before you give a presentation, they like warm you up
I love that.
with like quick hitters, like, oh, what's something that happened to you that nobody ever knew about?
Oh my
and
gosh.
Stuff like that.
Can I ask real quick? How many episodes? How many have y'all done of this?
6 or 7. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, it's probably 6 or 7, I'd say. You're the first one on season 2 of Everything Like That podcast.
Boom. So that must mean I'm on the Mount Rushmore of guests.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's 4 heads on Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
And you've had 6 or 7. That means all I got to do is be better than 3 of them.
That's true, but we did have a Sherpa from Mount Everest. That he's got to stay up there.
So
So you're definitely on there because you're awesome.
Thank
2, you're season 2. You're the opening guest for season 2.
that deserves something. I could
absolutely
crap the bed and at least get on the mountain
You're
for
on-
being.
You're there. And so then it's probably you or Grandpa because it's named after him.
Man, competition's starting to get pretty fierce. I didn't realize what I was up against.
But no,
I'm not going to beat a Sherpa and a grandpa.
you're definitely on there though.
Okay.
You're on there.
I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Merch coming next. Well, sometime.
Sherpa and grandpa.
Yeah.
.com. We have this. Me and my partners, we'll say something random. We'll be like, .com. We should look that up.
Hey.
And it's usually middle school bathroom humor, but whatevs. Quick hits. Hit me.
Quick
Hit me
hitters. Favorite song that stuck with you for more than 10 years?
up. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Impala. I wish I was like 6'9" so I could get with Leoshi. You know, she don't know me, but Yoshi's really fine. Because even in my dreams, I could scheme of ways to make her mine. Because I know she's living fat. Her boyfriend's tall and he plays ball, but how am I going to compete with that? Because when it comes to playing basketball, I'm always last to get picked, or in some cases never picked at all. So I just lean against the wall, sit up in the bleachers with the rest of the girls that came to watch their man ball. But dag, y'all never understood why all the jocks got the fly girls and me, I got the hood rats. I wish I was a little bit. I wish I was a little bit taller by Skilo.
All right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, you got one, or do you make it
No,
go?
what do you have
going?
next? I'm
Okay.
dumbfounded. What?
Best piece of advice, then worst piece of advice, or you can
Don't
whichever-
eat Mexican before a podcast because I'm groaning over here in my belly.
Turn the game down. Turn the game down.
Worst piece. So that's the worst. What's your best piece of advice?
Best piece of advice.
Just a quote, something that you've
I'm
heard.
working on it. Dang it, it's so big. Best piece of advice. Give me another one. Come on,
Oh, you-
refresh.
Refresh. Okay.
Favorite college sports team? Well, that's too easy. Favorite
Go us.
professional sports team?
Go Titans.
Okay.
A sports memory that lives in your head rent free.
Of my sport, or
Any sports memory that you've witnessed that lives rent free in your head. That you can think about and you're like, wow. That's what made me love sports.
easy.
Awesome.
The 1985 Chicago Bears, the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I was 10 years old, and Refrigerator Perry, Mike Singletary, Walter Payton, Jim McMahon, Willie Gault, Dan McMichaels, Steve McMichaels, Dan Hampton. Man, those I could go on and on. That team was magical to me as a 10-year-old. I still collect memorabilia from the 85 Chicago Bears just because, I mean, as far as the defense is concerned, no one has ever matched them, and I don't know they ever will. Did you know Mike Singletary, who was my favorite, broke like 12 helmets in college, cracked them?
That's crazy.
I mean, that's pretty amazing to me.
That's fine.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Do I need another one?
Yeah.
I can come up with another one.
You want ammo? All right.
Something that happened to you in your life that changed your life forever.
Probably the biggest one would be I was a teenager up in Baltimore, Maryland, and I made a choice to go to college in right outside Jackson, Mississippi, so like 1,000 miles away, and left behind pretty much my whole life and became a whole new person, and it reset my course for the rest of my life. So that has to be the biggest thing.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
It's a great answer. Now, have you thought about the greatest piece of advice you've ever been given?
Yes, I have thought about it. It is. Why is that a hard question? Can y'all warm me up and give me your answer to that?
Let me tell you what I thought about a few minutes ago when you said that me and Dylan were curious. I was thinking of the Ted Lasso
I love Ted Lasso.
when he was playing darts with a guy.
Yes.
And he was talking about the guy. I saw this on a billboard one time. Be curious, not judgmental. And he was like, nobody was ever. They were all judgmental. They were never curious on the person he was and stuff like that. And I listened to that once, and that quote has been in my head for months. Be curious, not judgmental.
Okay, I'll go Ted Lasso just because it's the only thing I can think about now is be a goldfish. You know that one? How goldfish, they have short-term memory. They forget as soon as that happens. So he was talking to a player who just made a big mistake. And he's like, be a goldfish. So
That's awesome.
I'm going to be a goldfish and forget about this podcast as soon as it's over.
Nice. I'm not. I'm gonna post it then forget about it. Not look at the comments. There we go. Nice.
This is awesome.
Dude, yeah,
No,
no,
it was
it's
fun.
We appreciate you being here. This
Absolutely.
number one on season 2.
How long has this been?
It's 44 minutes exactly.
Come on, let's do another 15 minutes.
I'm down.
I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Just
chill.
joking.
Come on now.
There's got to be somewhere in Shelbyville we can go party after this.
There's 1,000 coffee shops and 1,000 Mexican restaurants. So
Hey,
you can
these are two of my favorite things.
make your choice.
What's your? You like Mexican food?
We just ate it, yeah.
But you love it.
I mean, sure. Who doesn't?
What's
It's
the best one in Murfreesboro?
nachos. That my favorite one lately has been nachos over by our office.
Is that where we ate at after that football game? Is that where y'all
No,
ate?
that's over
Is
by
that-
my house. Yeah, no,
Nachos is like
Is it close to
the
campus?
Walmart.
Is it close to
Yeah.
campus?
close to MTSU.
no,
Yeah,
that
it's a
one
good
is
little
pretty
spot.
Which one's your favorite here?
La Riv.
I'm a No Mexico guy.
I'm a La Riv guy. I like the karaoke. DJ Steve.
Mexican karaoke. That's what was on your calendar.
What?
You remember how you said you go to Mexican karaoke? So here's what he did lately. He got his personal calendar mixed up with our shared office calendar. So this dude puts all his appointments on there, and everybody in the office can see what he's doing. And Mexican karaoke was on there. And don't lie. Don't lie right now.
I enjoy karaoke. I enjoy it a lot. Shout out my boy Austin Whitsett. He is here with DJ Steve at La Riviera Friday nights. He's killing it. So yeah, I'll put that on my
We went a couple
calendar
of
and I'll
Fridays
share it
ago.
with everybody.
So all those ladies who want a joint Facebook account with Dylan, you need to show up at Mexican karaoke on Friday night and check out what this is about.
Forget the joint Facebook account. Let's get a joint Google calendar. What's up with that? I'll update you on that accidentally. Jeez.
You synced your calendar with everybody.
Everybody in the office could
So
see
they just
everything.
See, like, your
He
physical
everything.
therapy and your doctor's.
And I
He
didn't even
did.
say
He did.
physical
He
therapy.
put.
I said
He,
therapy.
he just wrote therapy, so everybody's got 1,000 questions about that. Even though I love therapy,
Yeah.
but therapy could be a bunch of different things.
Right? I mean, Will Smith had one idea of it in Bad Boys. Not that. Not what, but that's what you end up with.
Golly, Whit.
It is what it is. That's what I did. It's been remedied.
Yep. This is season 1. Whoa, no.
Season 2,
Episode 1 of season 2 of Everything Like That podcast with Mr. Jeremy Lee.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Numero uno.
He just made it.